Here's something nobody tells you. The best negotiators in the world almost never argue. Not because they're pushovers or give up easily, but because they understand something that most people completely miss. That the moment a negotiation turns into an argument, you've made a strategic error. The goal was never to win the argument. The goal was to get what you need. And those are two very different things. Hi, I'm the Strategenius. I have an MBA and over 10 years of experience working with strategy across some seriously high-stakes situations. And today, I'm showing you the 4-step framework that the world's top dealmakers, executives, and strategists use to get exactly what they want without ever turning it into a fight. Step 1, focus on interests, not positions. A position is what you're asking for. An interest is why you're asking for it. Most negotiations fail because both sides argue over positions, their demands, without ever exploring the underlying interests driving them. The strategic shift is simple. Stop debating what each side wants and start uncovering why they want it. Because positions clash constantly. Interests almost never have to. I think this is the most critical step because it creates the biggest mindset shift. Most people walk into a negotiation already locked onto their position, their number, their demand, their outcome. Just asking the question, why do they want what they want, completely changes the nature of the conversation. It turns a battle into a dialogue. In practice, this is what you should say. Help me understand what's most important to you here. What would a good outcome actually look like for your side? It sounds like the real concern isn't X, it's Y. Is that right? Step 2. Use fair standards. A fair standard is an objective external benchmark, market data, legal precedent, expert opinion, industry norms that both sides can reference instead of just asserting their own position. When two people argue, it's personal and someone has to lose. When both sides defer to an external standard, nobody is pushing anyone. The evidence does the talking, and nobody argues with a ruler. For example, you're negotiating a salary increase. You say you deserve more. Your manager says the budget is tight. Now you're just two people asserting things at each other, going nowhere. But walk in with 3 industry compensation surveys showing the market rate is 18% above your current salary, and everything changes. Now it's not you demanding, it's the data speaking. Your manager can't dismiss it without looking unreasonable. The standard does the heavy lifting for you. In practice, say this. Can we agree on what a fair standard looks like before we talk numbers? What does the market data say about this? If we brought in a neutral expert, what do you think they'd conclude? Step 3, invent options for mutual gain. Most people treat negotiation like a fixed pie. Whatever the other side gets, you lose. The strategic move is to stop dividing the pie and start making it bigger. This means deliberately creating space to generate creative solutions before evaluating any of them, looking for outcomes where both sides walks away with more than a straight compromise would give them. For example, go back to 2021. Spotify and independent artists are at war. Artists are furious about streaming royalties. The payouts are tiny and many can barely make a living. They want more money per stream. Spotify says the economics don't work. Both sides are locked. Looks like a deadlock. But dig into what each side actually needs, and the picture changes. Artists don't just need money. They need exposure, data, and access to their fans. Spotify doesn't need to protect margins. They need exclusive content and artist loyalty to compete with Apple Music and Amazon. Those are completely different problems. So the solution looked nothing like the original demands. Artists got promotional tools, playlist priority, and listener analytics. Spotify got exclusive releases and artists actively promoting the platform to their audiences. Neither side got a bigger slice of the original pie. They built a completely different pie altogether. So in practice, say this. Before we decide anything, can we spend some time exploring what options might exist? Is there a version of this where we both walk away better off than our current positions? What could we offer that costs us very little but matters a lot to you? And step 4, separate the people from the problem. In any negotiation, you're managing 2 things at once, the issue on the table and the human being across from you. Most people let those blur together. They get frustrated with the problem and take it out on the person, or they like the person and go soft on the problem. The principle is be soft on the person and hard on the problem. Keep them completely separate. Your relationship with the other side is infrastructure. Protect it, even when things get tense. For example, Go back even further to 1997. Apple is nearly bankrupt. Steve Jobs negotiates a deal with Microsoft, the company Apple fans considered the enemy. The crowd literally booed when it was announced. But Jobs knew, if he let the bad blood between Apple and Microsoft poison the negotiation itself, Apple dies. He separated the emotion from the substance. He stayed hard on what Apple needed, while keeping the relationship workable. Apple didn't just survive, it became the most valuable company in history. In practice, say, I'm going to be direct about the issue. I hope that's okay. It's not personal. I understand this is frustrating. Let's focus on solving it together. I genuinely value this relationship, which is exactly why I want to get this right. So, when everything goes sideways, these are 3 quick situations you'll run into. Dirty tactics. Name them calmly, without accusation. It seems like this is being framed as take it or leave it. Is that intentional? Manipulation only works in the dark. Naming it out loud almost always kills it instantly. Do you have a more powerful opponent? Build your BATNA, your best alternative to a negotiated argument. BATNA. Your real power isn't your arguments. It's your freedom to walk away. The negotiator with the strongest alternative has the most leverage, so build yours before you sit down at the table. Any personal attacks? Just redirect them, don't defend. You're right, there are problems here. What would you change? Let them reveal what they actually need while you stay focused on the problem. Now let's talk about the 5 negotiation styles that every MBA course about negotiation will teach you. This is important because every negotiator has a default style. Most people don't know theirs, which means they're using it unconsciously. Here's the full picture, and think about which one you most often are using. Competing. Competing is going hard, aggressive, focused entirely on winning with little regard for the other side. Sometimes necessary, but overused. It burns relationships and creates enemies. Accommodating. This is the opposite. You prioritize the relationship over the outcome. You give ground to keep the peace. Smart in the right moment, but as a default, you'll consistently walk away with less than you deserve. Avoiding. This means sidestepping the conflict entirely, either because the issue feels too minor to fight over or because the tension feels too uncomfortable. Sometimes the right call, often just procrastination with a strategy label on it. Compromising. This is the split the difference move. Both sides give a little, both sides get a little. First, it's fast, practical, and fair-ish, but it rarely produces the best outcome for either party. You're not solving the problem, you're splitting it. Last one, collaborating. This is the one most people never reach. It means jointly searching for a solution that genuinely works for both sides. Creative, thorough, and focused on mutual gain. It takes more time and more trust, but it's the only style that consistently produces outcomes both sides are actually happy with. So here's the strategic truth. Not one of these styles is always right. The best negotiators move fluidly between them depending on the situation. The thing about negotiation that nobody tells you at the start, the people who are best at it don't look like they're negotiating. They look like they're just having a really good conversation. So here's your cheat sheet. Stop arguing over what, dig into why. Bring data, not demands. Look for the deal nobody thought of yet. And always be harder on the problem than you are on the person. Do these 4 things and you won't just be a better negotiator. You'll be a better strategist, a better leader, and honestly a better person to be in the room with. Which, when you think about it, is kind of the whole point. If this resonated, subscribe. There's a lot more where this came from. Thanks.